Hey guys, it's Amawesome by the way, and today we're looking at the 5th new gold standard achievement. Every time they bring out a new DLC for the game, they bring out 3 new levels to complete, so therefore 9 more gold stars to complete. So this is the 5th time that this has happened. I actually quite like this DLC. It's a little different from the others in terms of the levels and how to progress through them, but I also found them quite tricky. Especially the second level Mudberry, I think I had to complete that a few times in order to get the flow going to make it through right to the end. This level in particular isn't difficult, but it just takes a long time in order to get through each of the gold star standards. Whenever they give you a cure rate of blah, it can be quite tricky to get, especially if your hospital gets too big. The hardest part about this level is that the people with the conditions that are from this DLC take a long time to diagnose. So when your hospital gets too big and you have a large area for them to cover in order to get to their treatment at the end, they end up pretty much dying on the way over. The biggest thing for this DLC is to make sure that you have lots of diagnosis areas in a small place, and also have enough rooms and enough staff to cater to those high level diagnosis patients. Towards the end of the game, I ended up having about 4 or 5 general diagnosis rooms, 4 or 5 cardiology rooms, 7 psychology rooms, 2 wards, 1 ward for general diagnosis only, and the other ward just for treatment options. Then I think I also had about 10 or so general practitioner rooms. I'm guessing to help speed things along, probably having some fluid analysis rooms might have helped as well, but I didn't think of that at the time and I didn't incorporate that into my hospital plans. So the biggest thing first off, how do you find the press hiding amongst the crowd? Pretty much when I was at the point of just waiting for money in order to progress my hospital, I just put my game into slow mode and was just watching a general area of patients. At first I didn't know what I was looking for, but after a while, you start to notice things. The biggest thing that I was keeping an eye out for was flashing of my screen when they're taking pictures. That can be pretty obvious. If you're especially struggling, just watch a few patients and see if any get up and start scribbling on their notes or anything like that. But the flash photography is very blinding, and I found that that was pretty much the only thing I was really keeping an eye out for. The second star was pretty simple in pressing 5 VIPs. That generally just comes up every time one VIP leaves, another scenario turns up. So if you haven't fully prestiged all your rooms already at this stage, start doing that and they will be impressed no matter what. If you prestige all your rooms, that goal of gaining a certain amount of hospital attractiveness should naturally come. If you are struggling to get enough private parts patients, just build a marketing campaign and just get a whole bunch to come through. Now to obtain 3 stars, quite tricky to get, especially because I allowed my hospital to get way too big. I think the easiest way in order to get the 3-star achievement is to try and get through the levels as quickly as possible, not drag it out too much like I did. As a result, I had to use every square inch of this game. I mean, impressing the VIPs is just going to come naturally. Every time one leaves, just start the next one. If you have everything prestige as high as possible, you're fine. If you need higher prestige, just pot a bunch of statues all over the place to kind of make every square inch of the area green with loveliness. In order to get that cure rate high enough, I just had to make sure that I had enough reception spots, so I ended up having to build another reception as well to cater to the amount of patients that were coming through. I think the biggest part of this level is to make sure that all your staff is fully trained up. For example, if your general practitioners have a much higher level, they should be able to diagnose patients a lot more quickly, therefore not making them go through multiple diagnosis rooms and returning back to them, making the treatment options a lot faster for them. Unfortunately, like I said at the start, all the patients that come through in this DLC require a large diagnosis in order to get through to the treatment. Normally I have my diagnosis at 90%. I think I dropped it down to 85 or 80% in order to try and get them through to their treatment options a lot more quickly. but then that's also putting the patient at risk of failing their treatment and dying, which will reduce your cure rate, so you just gotta even that out as much as possible. Most of your money at the start of the game comes from the VIPs coming to check out your hospital. Towards the end of the game, it should be from your patients paying for their treatment, as well as from your research. In this particular level, you shouldn't have too much trouble getting money, unlike the Mudbury in the previous level. Hopefully this video guide has helped you get this achievement, so do let me know below in the comments or subscribe, that'd be great. If you managed to get the achievement, congratulations, you have one of the rarest achievements in the game, and good luck for any other future achievement hunting.